Yeah, I just said when there's a fire, you can grab a shovel and a bucket of water and you can start the fight. But I feel like a lot of us felt really lost with COVID-19, and now we've sort of found our shovel and bucket of water, and that's producing these PPEs for all of our medical professionals.
You are listening to an interview with Alex Wulff, educator, maker, entrepreneur, and the president of STEM Ambassadors. He and countless others are creating face shields on 3D printers for healthcare workers throughout Ventura County. I am Colleen Tabor with the VC STEM Network. Yes.
And so now we've got, tens, if not hundreds of kids throughout Ventura County showing up every day to my house and dropping off headbands. And we've got businesses like American Plastics who are either donating or giving us materials at cost at the same time that similar businesses are actually trying to profit off of this. And so we've got all these amazing community members stepping up, led by the kids, which is the most exciting part, and finding a way to do their part to fight this thing.
Right. Now, when you talk about the kids, are you talking about the STEM ambassadors?
Sure. So the STEM ambassadors have definitely taken the lead here, and I am astounded how much work they are putting into this. I've got kids literally showing up at my house every day. We're socially distancing, but they're grabbing 20 or 30 or more face shields. They're going back to their houses. They're cleaning and assembling and doing some jobs that are not fun, like, punching holes in rubber bands. Nobody has an ego. Everyone is just being selfless, and these kids are just leading the charge. I've got another kid who, every time a 3D printer breaks, I call him up. He drives over to the house. He brings it back to his house, fixes it, brings it back, gets it running again. We've got two other kids who are running the website. They've set it up so that we can take donations because we've spent probably $6,000, $7,000 already. And they're setting it up for donations. And they're also then cleverly on their own setting it up with all of the links and resources that anybody could want to help us to make these shields. And now we've actually got satellite groups starting up in Santa Barbara and Los Angeles to help their areas, because as we kept thinking that the demand was going to slow down, that we were going to be a stopgap for 4 or 5 days. Instead, the opposite is happening, and every day we're getting requests, whether it's from St. John's or CMH or BCMC, saying, "Look, we need 2,000 shields," and we can't do that part, but we can do at this point more than 100 a day, which is really cool, and we just get this outpouring of appreciation from the real heroes here, which are these ER docs and nurses, and they keep thanking us, and it's almost like embarrassing, right? Because they're the ones going to work, and all we're doing is trying to 3D print some parts for them.
Yeah, but it's got to feel so good for them to know that they have someone that is helping them.
I can't imagine, I think of these frontline workers, like hospital workers, whether you're checking someone in or you're a nurse or you're a doctor, and you're being asked to go in and do this without the proper protective gear, and they're still going. I mean, this is the heroism to the highest degree, as far as I'm concerned. It would be like sending a soldier off to battle without a helmet and armor. And this is what we're asking them to do, and they're doing it. It's just incredible.
Yeah, that's a really good analogy, because we wouldn't ask our soldiers to do that.
And it would be unconscionable, right? And yet, here we are.
Yes.
And we are in a position where we've got kids making protective medical devices for doctors and nurses. And on the one hand, it's beautiful, and but on the other hand, it's kind of sad. You're like, what's happening here? We kept thinking this was going to be a 1 day or a 2 day or a 3 day thing. And now we're here on like day 8, and there's no sign that it's letting up. So we're so happy that we can help, and this community from, like I said, everywhere from Ojai to Santa Barbara to Simi Valley to LA, that's all joined in now. We're happy that we have that network. And by the way, thanks to Phil Hampton, Cal State University Channel Islands people, they have an incredible network, and that's paired up with our network. It's paired up with Jim Bailey in Ojai. And so all these networks are coming together, and we're just increasing capacity every day. Every day I'm scared that I'm going to have to tell people, I'm sorry, we didn't make it. And then I go out to my doorstep, and there's another 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 headbands just being dropped off, either by former students or by people who I don't even know, or by the Naval Base, or by, Matter Labs or Fathom Works. And there's people who are like, do you still need them? And I'm like, yes, we do. And they're like, okay, we're going to keep making them. Nobody's asking for any kind of money. They just want to help.
Wow, that is so awesome. So tell me a little bit, how did you get involved with making PPEs to begin with?
So the way that we got involved is that there's this guy, Joseph Prusa, who we have many of his 3D printers. He's sort of like the sort of founder of the RepRap 3D printer movement. He posted an open source file for these protective devices. And right after he did that, there's a kid, Patrick Wechter, who started making them for his mom. My friend, Rick Rutherford, who is an ER doctor, said, Alex, is this something you can do? Ambassador Anshul Bajaj came to me and said, Mr. Wulff, we should do this. So there was a sort of, all these people in parallel going, we need to make things happen here. And, again, with Rick, I was like, hey, let me give you a couple and see if you like them. And Rick's like, okay, I have a meeting with the other ER docs today. I'll get back to you. And as he was in the meeting, he said, the text came in, we need 40. And then it was scratch that, we need 400. And then it was scratch that, we need 2,000.
Wow.
And we're just sending them over, and we just get this barrage, this outpouring of thanks. We had an ER doctor show up at the house today. He literally left VCMC, drove here, and said, I need 10 more shields. Wow. Right? And we were like, okay, man, just stay there, and I'll get them for you. And we just ran inside and ran 10 shields out to him, and he literally hopped back in his van and drove back to the hospital.
Who else has helped you with the face shields and the distribution of them?
Okay, so the system that we have set up right now is American Plastics, Robert Washington. He supplies all of our plastic sheeting. So we grab those sheets from him, and we actually cut them into the lenses on a laser in my classroom, Ventura Unified School District classroom. Okay. Then the 3D printers are being operated. We have about 15 at my house right now, and the various STEM ambassadors have several other 3D printers. For the bands, the elastic bands, we're actually using trash can rubber bands from Home Depot because they're really wide and they work amazingly well and they can be easily cleaned. Now, there are groups from the U.S. Navy. I can't remember the guy's first name right now, but I think it's Allen, and the last name is Yeager. And there are groups from Fathom Works, also by the Naval Base, and Fathom Works and Matter Labs go together hand in hand. They keep bringing more and more capacity online. Then there's a group up in Ojai that's Jim Bailey and Casey. Let me get your last name. Hold on one second. That's Casey Murphy, okay. Who is delivering now 20 to 30 units a day. And then Foothill Tech has gotten on board, Kurt Miller and Yu-Hung Lee. And really, though, I could give you 50 names and I would be leaving 50 more out, because every morning I wake up to a barrage of emails in my inbox, people going, I have a 3D printer, I have 2 3D printers. A lot of them are like former students or people who we've connected with through Phil Hampton's network. But a lot of them are just people in the community who are like, yeah, I want to help. What can I do? Yes. But what's really happening here is I have to give crazy credit. I know it probably doesn't go well publicity-wise. I'm going to do it anyway. My wife and my kids have been working non-stop. Our whole house has been converted into a factory. The STEMbassador kids and their families have been working non-stop. There's just a lot of people who are doing incredible things here. And yeah, I guess I get to be the facilitator, and it's kind of an honor to do that, but I'm definitely not the one who's giving them shovels. Maybe they're getting their own shovels. Maybe I'm just showing them what to do with the shovel.
Me, I don't have a 3D printer, and I don't have a lot that I can have to offer, but let's say I have extra money lying around. Would that be beneficial?
Absolutely. So again, we set up the STEMbassadors.net website. So it's not STEM ambassadors, it's STEMbassadors. There's no A after the M and before the B.
Okay, good to know.
And it's STEMbassadors.net. And on that website, we have a donate link. And so far, I think people have donated close to $6,000. It's a tremendous help that people are logging on the STEMbassadors.net and donating the money. And when this is all over, if there is extra money, that money will go straight to kids in Ventura County schools, teaching them how to 3D print and teaching them how to use CNC machines. So if, just to have pure transparency on everything there. But I anticipate when it's all over, if we break even, I'll be really happy.
Wow, Alex, that is so cool. I'm excited. I wish I could get more involved than just monetarily.
My brain's frazzled. I've never fielded so many emails in my life.
That's what Phil said. Phil said, you might want to call him instead of email him, because he said he was inundated with emails.
Phil is really something special. Thank you.
Oh, Alex, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
You bet.
All righty. Bye-bye now.
Take care. Bye-bye.
This is Colleen Tabor with the VC STEM Network. Thank you for listening.